Hey, it's freaking Fab. Huh? It's freaking Fab. What? It's freaking Fab. It's freaking Fab, breaking balls, takes me up the walls, talking all that shit that make you wanna get involved. Ain't no ball. Rick and Fab, no ball. Look, when you wanna talk ball, tell me who you call. I know it's Rick and Fab, got it all, ain't no ball. Look, Rick and Fab, no ball. Yeah.
Folks, it's good to be back. It's great to be back after a brief hiatus. Rick and Fab No Ball, episode 11. Why is Fab in here?
Wait, what is happening?
Dude, I think I lost connection and now I'm in here twice somehow.
One of you, I'm gonna remove. Wait, can just like wave? No, the other one's frozen.
Right.
Well, that is so trippy.
Wait, is there two of me?
Yeah, can you not see two? What an intro!
It's showing a black screen on the other one. Yeah, that's I didn't.
Oh my god!
If you're listening and not on
Okay,
YouTube, there was just briefly two Fabs there, which is
good reason to check out
trouble.
the YouTube. Yeah,
That's the only thing better than one Fab is two Fabs.
that was incredible.
Yeah, but brief hiatus. Feel like it was a busy couple weeks for the boys. MereKat crushed it in AC. Just to give you guys an example of how lost we are without MereKat. Before we started recording tonight, I was trying to figure out some audio issues, and Mir suggested that I try turning up the volume, which I just hadn't considered that option. Just galaxy brain stuff from our producer. But yeah, went to AC for a work trip. Absolutely crushed it. Met Darren Rovell, Frank the Tank, Gary V. From everything we saw, the kid absolutely killed it. Put in like a 90-hour work week. Mir, how was that?
Yeah, it was finished at like 89.7 something hours for the week.
Oh,
It was
my bad.
It was close
15
to
minutes.
90, but I mean, it was incredible. Frank the Tank interview is actually going to air tomorrow morning when this is dropping, so it's not like I'm really plugging it. Sorry, but you check it out maybe after you check
Brother,
this
plug
out.
away.
Yeah, but Frank the Tank was great.
Call me a drain the way I'm going to let you plug right now.
I tried to catch him off guard at the end of our interview. The dude is sharp as a knife. It's incredible. Frank the Tank is just one of a kind. A lot of cool people, though. I mean, greatest. I went to a lot of like cool parties with like athletes and stuff, exclusive things, and it was very cool. It was cool because I like kind of felt like, oh, I'm somebody in this industry because of who I work for and like what I was doing the week. It was just an awesome experience. But nothing could top Darren Rovell pulling out the Hugh Hefner Viagra prescription out of his pocket and holding it up to me with like a side face smirk, wearing his dealer badge. Just one of the most incredible moments I've ever had in my life.
He keeps that thing on him?
You don't keep that out on the floor. That's an easily stealable item. That's a request to see type thing. And brother, I requested it immediately.
Did he have his any of his MLK memorabilia or the Rosa Parks like bus pass or anything with him out on display?
None of those gems made it out, but honestly, he had a lot of tickets and stuff. And as much as we like to clown on Rafael, it was kind of cool, like thinking about it, like looking at some of the tickets, like seeing a graded ticket and like it has the exact moment, like significant moments. Like the one ticket the kid bought when I was talking to him was like the Spike Lee choke game. So like I've been looking at like a few things. I actually bought a ticket from the Bills' first game ever at Rich Stadium. So I'm like kind of looking at that. I think it's kind of cool actually. As much as we like the meme on Rovell, some of that stuff pretty cool. And it was just crazy because it was my dream to see that Viagra bottle, and he just whips it out.
I can't get over that he had it in his pocket.
It was incredible. You probably seen the picture of not like he's standing out holding it out like he's like almost hiding
Great
it.
Picture.
And he's wearing a dealer badge. He's got a single hanging out of his pocket. It's just.
Do you think like how when you leave a place you do the pocket pat and you do like phone, wallet, keys, make sure you have everything? Is he like phone, wallet, Viagra bottle?
He's got to be. Honestly, that's a one-of-a-kind item. That's like one of the greatest collectibles in all of sports or pop culture memorabilia. Let's be real.
That's something I would keep in like a shirt pocket. You got to like keep that up here so it's like right in your chest. Like I got. The
I turn it
Viagra
into
bottle
a
right here.
chain. You just like get a nice little bezel on there, nice little Cuban link, and just
Ice
have
it
it
out.
hanging. That would be sick.
Only
R.I.P.
Darren
Hugh
Ravel.
Hefner. You would have loved OnlyFans.
And
You
Rick
would
and
have
Fab
loved
No Ball.
Darren Ravel and Rick and Fab No Ball.
Oh, he would have been a listener for sure.
But
Fab, what's new with you? Anything?
Yeah, I actually because I wanted to pre-address the Fab not pulling his weight allegations because of you guys obviously doing your cool stuff. So I actually just threw together like some notes of things that I've been up to.
Okay.
Let me pull that up real quick. I changed my video game setup. That's one
Nice.
thing I did. So you guys can see I have my Elden Ring poster in the back now. So I did
love
that.
How's the cable
see.
management situation? Like, what's the aesthetic appeal of the gaming setup? Can you show us?
I'd have to turn my. I can post a picture of it. I'd have to turn my
Okay,
laptop
yeah.
around. It'd be messy. I broke 100 on the golf course. We talked about that,
Saw
but
that.
that's something that I did.
Post bee sting, mind you.
Two
Still
bee stings, yeah.
recovering.
Injured,
Right,
not
still
hurt.
recovering. Yep. And then just one more thing I did. I started drinking iced coffee again.
Okay.
So that
Seems a little late.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is that a seasonal thing or just a personal?
Well, no,
thing?
I got off coffee and switched to tea, but now I'm back to coffee.
Okay.
Okay.
So that's something I did. That's pretty cool. And I went to the Worcester Red Sox twice, so that was pretty cool too.
Okay.
Polar Park, the
So
greatest place on earth.
I've been staying busy. People are going to say I'm not pulling my weight here, but you know, I just gave you four things that I've been.
You brought the receipts, brother.
Yeah, I mean, nobody can say I didn't.
Absolutely.
And shout out to Fab for getting the YouTube uploaded when I was gone.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
You became a podcast.
That's a
producer as well.
Herculean, effort there.
I realized what I did wrong is I had both files as MP4 files, so that's why I couldn't get the podcast up. So I apologize for that, guys. But I did get I should have wrote that down. I got the YouTube uploaded. That's another feather in my cap there.
So Fab, podcast producer, PGA Tour, aspiring, iced
Live
coffee
tour.
enthusiast,
Live tour.
proud owner of a new gaming setup. Well, not new, rearranged.
Right, I literally just turned my table. Like the KD jersey's right here. Like I'm
Oh, wow.
facing. Like I turned 90 degrees.
That's
And
incredible.
yeah, this Elden Ring poster is actually kind of fire. You can
That is
call me what you want. Just don't forget to call me the Elden Lord, because I am that. But
Elden
yeah.
Lord and KD enthusiast. What else do you need in your room?
Well,
Yeah, that's
me
what
and
I've been up
Fab,
to.
Me and Fab have had big weeks. Let's give a shout out to our boy Rick. Big week there. Barstool,
Part-time
Indiana.
employee, baby. Yeah, big news. Fab obviously kind of took the spotlight there, but my big news is I got a part-time job. So, huge stuff happening. I'm officially running all of Barstool Indie stuff as a city viceroy, their Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. So go give it follow and engage with those posts if you guys could. Means the world. Like I said, just part-time right now, nothing too fancy. But we got a foot in the door, baby, and we're gonna kick that bitch down. I went to the Barstool River North Bar in Chicago, had a blast there, met our boy DAWG. I kind of didn't go in there with any game plan. I just I had one of those Snapchat signs you hold up at a concert, and I just went to Portnoy's table, held it up. I'm a big guy, so I'm like, I work for you. Can we get a pic? And he respected the hustle, called me up. We got a picture, quick 5-minute convo. Not even 5 minutes, maybe 2 minutes. Met Chief, Carl, all the Chicago guys. So, it was a blast there. Follow Barstool Indie.
What's
Any
the
love?
what's it like there? Were they behind some sort of barrier, I would assume,
Yeah.
so you couldn't swarm them?
Yeah, it's a pretty typical, bar setup. There was 3 or 4 VIP tables in the corner that they had roped off with security. Then there's a DJ booth, a dance floor setup, the, main bar. I think there was a downstairs where you could do private rooms and private events there. But it was awesome. Patty the Baddie showed out, and Molly, all, very gracious with fans, taking pictures. It was a blast. Great night.
Yeah, that looked awesome.
That's awesome.
That place looks sick.
Yeah. Great setup they got there. I don't know. What else do we have on the... I feel like I should have had more to say for that, but whatever. Actually, yeah, much harder than I thought. Like, I gained a lot of respect for Mere, who's been doing content and running socials for a living for a few years now. It's like 4 days into this, and I'm already scraping my brain for ideas. So
it's a lot, dude. You know, we'll talk after this. I got some things that'll help you out. But yeah, people don't realize like, oh, tweeting and stuff, it's so easy. But when you're running like multiple brands across multiple platforms and just like organizing it all, generating ideas, it's a lot. It's a lot, you know. So like, you're gonna crush it though.
What's hard is Twitter. Obviously, you can post pretty much anything. Just use a burner, and if you get one of those copyright or DMCA strikes, you're fine. But like, I'll make something for Twitter, and I'll be like, "Oh shit, I can't post this to Instagram because of the music or the videos that I used, whatever." I feel like getting the account taken down for DMCA strike would probably be not a great way to start the gig. So trying to be extra careful for that. But yeah, just. I'm a Twitter guy. We all know that first and foremost. So the Instagram and TikTok stuff is going to be tough for me to pick up.
I wanted to compliment you actually on the was it the Naheem Hines video? That was a good video. Like I didn't realize because I watched it and I didn't even realize it was your voice in the background. But that was very, very well produced. And I actually just turned down a trade for Naheem Hines, and that video made me kind of like second guess that. Oh, so no. I thought that was a good video.
Dude, that took me like 2 hours. The least used social media for me is TikTok. Obviously, I've never made a TikTok, so a lot of YouTube tutorials, a lot of that kind of thing. I'm pumped how it turned out, so I appreciate that.
Yeah, that was a good one. That's a good watch.
And Indiana beat Kentucky in the Little League World Series, if you were wondering.
Did they?
Yeah, 3-1.
Fucked.
So you supported that tweet. You deserve an award for that. So whatever.
Oh, that's right. That tweet. That's what that was. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. What's next? I don't have the list pulled up in front of me.
Well, don't worry. Producer Mere's here to guide the ship, even though he was following Barstool Indy from the Rick and Fav No Ball Twitter account because Rick is too humble to do so himself. We're gonna get in some ball talk. The big round orange one that started this podcast. We got some beef. We got some, what is this, Pro-Am beef right now?
I think it's the Isaiah Thomas. No, is it Jamal Crawford or Isaiah Thomas? It's one of their like events or something. Okay. I want to say it's IT, but I'm not positive.
I'll let you guys go first with your takes on the situation because I have some very, very strong thoughts on this.
All right, so I'll roll the video first. We got just the video of the play that was going around of Murray absolutely clowning.
I didn't know I hadn't seen that angle before.
Oh,
and that's what kind of sucks. Like a player can't just go like fuck around at a Pro-Am anymore, like play pickup anymore, because there's 50 cameras pointed on you at all times. And if you get clowned on, you're going viral.
Yeah. And that was rough.
So my take on this.
Well, let's go through the beef on the Instagram stories first. Let's explain.
Okay.
So that clip obviously went viral. Banchero apparently took offense to being unfollowed on Instagram, which, who doesn't that hurt? That would impact me on a spiritual level too. Dejounte Murray replied back, and is it not just exhausting to type like this? Like he's one of those capitalizes every word kind of type.
On an Instagram story too. Like,
are you pressing the shift key individually for every single word you type? I mean, that just is exhausting to me. But he basically said, you tried to flex that number one pick shit on me when I have been rooting for you when you was a kid asking to rebound for me. Don't get on the internet saying nothing. Told him to be humble. And, it's also exhausting to read this type of formatting if anyone else is wondering. So
shout out to the YouTube viewers that just squinted to read that.
So yeah, I wanted to just preface anything I say with going into this, and still I really like both of Paolo and Dejounte Murray. But it's even more than just the Paolo stuff. So many clips surfaced after this of Dejounte Murray just like with these random dudes who probably work 40 hours a week and they're just here hooping for fun. And he like the way he's like dribbles the ball off of their head. It's like, what are you doing, bro? Like he's making such a clown out of himself.
Yeah.
Which I just really never, I guess, expected that from him. But it seems like Paolo probably kind of lit the fire and then kind of took the step back, and then Dejounte looks like the bad guy. But it's, to me, all the footage I've seen, Dejounte looks like the big clown here.
I agree. There's more video, like you said, of him like doing this shit to people in this league going on right now. Like people that are not as good as Paolo Banchero too, like bouncing balls off them, just like standing over them and stuff, which I like don't love it, but it's also like the dude, I feel like he's having fun. The dude just got paid. He's finally out of, the Greg Popovich tyranny. He's letting himself, he's not worried about what's being put out about him anymore. I feel like when you're a Spur, that's something they kind of care about. Now it's just like, hey, do whatever you want. He's a superstar. I'm super on his bandwagon now too, Fab, ever since you sent me the that Facebook page. We won't. I don't know if we want to dox it to the people, but that's sad about him. Dejounte Murray is a very, very good basketball player.
Yeah, he's awesome.
And it's just, I kind of like seeing him go off like this. Yeah, it's disrespectful or whatever, but it's the NBA. We kind of want that.
Yeah. Well, I don't really have the thing I have a problem with the most with Dejounte is him. Like, I think the one clip I saw was him and another like dude who obviously is not any sort of like NBA player, like who not a basketball player. The kid falls, we're going for the rebound. Dejounte gets the rebound, bounces the ball off of the guy's head who's sitting on the ground in front of him twice. It's like, you having beef with an NBA player is fine. Like, we love that. But like, if you're just like picking on these like nobodies, like at these pro-ams, like, what are you doing, bro?
Yeah,
like, what is the point of that? But yeah, I want to hear what Rick has to say. I have a feeling you disagree with me.
So it's official. Beef is dead. Beef fell off. We are officially at a point where beef starts because someone unfollowed someone on Instagram, and it takes place exclusively on Instagram stories.
That's a weird dynamic.
You said Dejounte looks like a clown here. Mere, you kind of went pro Dejounte. I think both guys look like clowns. Is this how we're settling beef nowadays, is on Instagram stories? And to just pull up a reference for you, 13 short years ago, Gilbert Arenas brought a gun into a locker room over beef. Not just one gun. Let me read this for you guys. I've got a Rick Reads here. So the beef started with this guy, what's his name? Javaris Crittenton. That's a very British last name.
Hell of a name.
I feel like he's about to go fight in the Revolutionary War. But there was a debt over a poker game on a team plane. There was some dispute over the amount one gentleman owed the next. And Gilbert Arenas told him, Javaris, I will burn your car while you're in it. Then we'll find an extinguisher to help your ass out. Javaris replied, well, I'll just shoot you then. And he said, man, I'll bring you the guns to shoot me. Then Gilbert Arenas goes into the locker room. He lays out 4 guns in front of this locker and told Crittenton to pick one, daring his teammate to follow through on his threat of shooting him. And that's when Crittenton allegedly unveiled his own loaded gun, cocked it, and pointed it at Arenas' head. This was all happening in the locker room, not on Instagram stories. This is real beef. How did we fall this far?
To quote friend of the program, Drake, trigger fingers turn to Twitter fingers. It's the generation.
Yeah, Drake the prophet.
He knew this was going to happen. I mean, Paolo is what, 19 still? Like, he's starting the Instagram beef. Like, Murray's the one being a clown on the court, like whatever. Like, he unfollows, but Paolo like making the original story, being like, bro, why are you unfollowing me? Like, that's some high school shit. That's showing like that he's really a kid. Like,
just to be clear, I feel like I kind of agree that the beef itself is kind of just like a nothing burger. It's like pretty stupid. One question I do have is, how does everybody always know what, how did he know that he got unfollowed? Like, does everybody have like the app, or like, did he go check? Like, how does that work? Because I feel like whenever somebody unfollows somebody, like an athlete, like everybody knows right away, which I don't know. It seems kind of weird if they all have like the apps of like who unfollowed me.
I think that's a fan thing that like probably pointed it out to him. I think there's fans that kind of religiously track that shit.
You can like go to a person's followers and just search like a name to see. So when like something like this happens, when like that video drops or whatever, people are gonna point it out. People are probably like tagging Paolo and posts like, oh shit, Dejounte unfollowed Paolo, like eye emoji, eye emoji, eye emoji.
Yeah, and back to what him being a clown. I think he comes off as a clown where he's like dribbling the ball off of these random average Joe's heads. Like I think that's kind of like, what are you doing, bro? Like you're you got paid. You're playing for the Hawks now. Like you're a rising star in this league. You're so talented. Like why are you like abusing these dudes who like are having the greatest moment of their life, being able to play basketball on the same floor as you, and you're just going to dribble the ball off their heads? Obviously, you don't know the context, but it just makes him kind of look like a clown, in my opinion. But the beef is pretty stupid. And going back and forth on Instagram stories is also just like a horrible way to like. It's just not good like dialogue. It looks better when it's all on Twitter screenshotted, but like why don't they just go on Twitter and like have a nice little thread like civilized humans?
Why don't we beef on Twitter like real men used to?
Right, yeah. Men used to beef on Twitter and now they post Instagram stories.
This generation will never know.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that matchup, I guess. We'll see what happens in the regular season. Not that they're going to guard each other, but
everybody wants to see the Magic Hawks.
Do we want to check in on Fab's best friend, Kevin Durant?
Yeah, we do.
This show wouldn't exist without Kevin Durant. I don't think we've gone more than like 20 or 30 minutes on the show without our guy KD being a topic of conversation.
Yeah, he's
as he should be,
feeding us the only off-season content we have, while simultaneously holding up the off-season and preventing any off-season news from happening, because the whole league is ground to a standstill waiting what he's going to do. So we're in a real Schrodinger's KD situation. But he just had a meeting with the owner of the Nets, Chris Tsai. Is that the owner or the GM?
Yeah, Joe Tsai.
Joe Tsai and
Joe,
the GM,
Chris,
Sean Marks. I'm starting to become anti-KD with this whole saga. He's starting to lose me here, because a big reason he went to the Brooklyn Nets and signed that deal with them is because he wanted more say in the organization, and they were going to give that to him. He was envisioning becoming like an integral part, and he had some say in the hiring of Steve Nash. He was like a big reason why Steve Nash got hired, as I remember. So you don't like the coach, my brother in Christ, you helped pick the coach. You don't get to have it both ways. You either want to step up and if you have a problem with the direction, you have to realize that you are a significant contributor to that direction. So those are my thoughts on that. Like, I don't know. He's starting to rub me the wrong way with this.
Yeah, I mean, as someone who obviously loves KD, and I'm on the front lines of the KD defense unit, Kevin Durant makes my job harder by the day. It's like I have yet to spin this in a good way for Kevin. No
respect for the troops on the front lines from him.
But we just have the ultimate trump card where he's God. He's a god. What's a king to a god? But it's actually
what's a god to a 4-year max contract.
But let's not let Kyrie off the hook here, though. He's right there with KD, and he also hates Steve Nash, which came out a lot today. Which, to be fair, I mean, Steve Nash kind of sucks, but you are right that this is their team that they built, and this is what they wanted, and now he's totally turning his back on it. The fact that he kind of gave an ultimatum saying it's either the coach and the GM or it's me is one of the most insane things I think anybody's ever seen in the world of sports.
The coach GM pairing, not just like one. Like maybe if he was like, it's me or Jason Kidd, or the Sean Marks guy's a clown. He's not like, has no direction for the team, but he's like, nah, just fuck the front office.
It's insane. I don't know if you guys remember this or if this was only like a Celtics thing, but there was like people were like who's more valuable, Brad Stevens or Giannis? Like it goes. It's like
I remember
what?
that. That was the time. That was a Trill Withers poll.
Oh, that's what it was. That's what
Brad's
it was.
team
Yeah.
has won.
Yeah. But I mean, like if you're what's his name, Josiah, like he came out and tweeted yesterday, like that he's going to do what's in the best interest of the team, and he supports Steve Nash and whatever the GM's name is. One of the worst parts of all this is the fact that Steve Nash has decided to become a TikTok star, which is just hilarious when people keep posting these videos of Steve Nash doing TikTok dances. Like, it's like, meanwhile, I'm looking on Steve Nash and he's
like, no wonder KD doesn't want to play for this guy.
Yeah, such a funny dynamic. I was waiting for KD to respond to the tweet, but yeah, absolute mess in Brooklyn.
Yeah. He, like you said, he gave that ultimatum. It's either me or the rest of the organization, pretty much. This is starting to become the basketball equivalent of Taylor Swift and her exes.
Yeah.
JD has had beef with every coach at every stop. He's had beef with front offices at every stop. At what point do we look in the mirror and realize the common denominator here? I don't know. I said that about Taylor Swift, and the Swifties came at me for months, but there's a common denominator when someone doesn't get along with every single ex. So I don't know.
100%. And it's just like, he's going to be gone. Like, they're not going to keep him. They're not going to get rid of the front office for one player. And I feel like at this point, they're going to start hampering expectations. Like, the season's 2 months away, not even, like just about 2 months away. You got to figure something out because Brooklyn's a mess. There's no future. Sean Marks, if Josiah's going to keep him as your GM, and Steve Nash, like, these guys better be ready for a rebuild because it's going to get real shitty for them. And today, Shams was on the Pat McAfee show and said the leading team and, like, really the main interest, like the only front runner right now is the Boston Celtics. And now it's more interest coming from the Nets wanting to work with the Celtics because the assets they have, and Celtics showed interest previously than the Celtics right now. But there was a report from Windhorst that the Celtics be willing to offer Jaylen Brown in the deal, and
it was on
minus
ESPN
175 betting odds. It's looking like, I don't know, Fab. How are you okay losing Robert Williams and Jaylen Brown for Kevin Durant?
Just to reiterate here, it was Windy. I saw him on ESPN today. It's not they're willing to offer Jaylen Brown. Apparently, the offer is on the table. It's on the Nets on whether they want to accept it.
Okay.
So,
and it's
Fab,
just
what do you think?
Like what? It's just the offer is Jaylen Brown, and I would assume draft picks, right? Is Jaylen Brown the only player?
I think Smart is talked about as well. I don't know the additional details, but he said Jaylen Brown was offered officially.
The most recent things I've seen of as far as what the Nets are asking for is they said they want every last asset, which if you're talking about Celtics assets, that is a fuck ton, and you'd have to be out of your goddamn mind to trade every last asset if you're the Celtics for KD. That would be one of the worst. And I have faith in Brad. I know Brad is not a moron, and I don't think he would do that. But if it's just Jaylen and like picks, then I wouldn't be opposed to that. Even though, like, I don't think the trade should happen, but if it is, it better be just Jaylen and picks. But the Nets are never going to take that.
Yeah.
But I mean, at some point they might have to, because like, what else are they going to do?
Yeah, they're kind of like handcuffed. Like I said, like they're going to start to hamper their expectations sooner than later. They have to move Kevin Durant at some point.
Let me be clear, though. I'm Team Jaylen. I want the Celtics, how it looks right this second. That's how I want it to look going into the season. But obviously, if KD gets traded, I will very, very quickly spin my way into being the happiest human alive. Yeah.
All right.
We can wrap up KD because we're gonna have to talk about something new with him next week.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true. All right. Do you think we get Kevin Durant on the pod first, or part of my take? We talked about it more probably.
We are the only pod of the group that has a KD stan, a soldier in KD's army, really. Mm-hmm. So I would have to lean and say that gives us kind of an edge.
We're gonna have to really work on our legacy. Like if we're gonna get KD on here, we're gonna have to do like some sort of legacy defining, like I don't know, like something like crazy, where KD would be like, damn, all right. and then I think we'll get him on.
Starting
Speaking
five
of
Kevin Durant tweets.
Speaking of internet armies, do we want to briefly talk about the truce we've reached with Jersey Jerry Army?
Yeah,
I'm glad you brought that up because I totally forgot. Yeah.
So the beef has been squashed. We officially have these internet mercenaries on our side. What happened was Mere discovered a bunch of 1-star review bombs they left. Obviously, that doesn't affect really me or Fab at all. Like, we just show up and talk for 2 hours. But MereKat works his ass off behind the scenes to kind of optimize that shit and, get eyeballs and exposure for us. So that's where it went too far. That's where, believe it or not, I reached out. I was very reasonable. I said, hey, I think we can both agree this has kind of gone off Twitter. I enjoy the trolling, but I enjoy the trolling on Twitter, but this is affecting other people. This is affecting kind of real life now. So can we maybe cut the shit? And to their credit, they were 100% in agreement. They said, yeah, we've been talking as well. We think that was too far. We're changing all the reviews to 5 stars. We're on your guys' side at the ready. If you ever need us, let us know. So I don't know when we'd ever need these guys to just absolutely unleash hell on somebody.
I think we'll definitely need them.
It's a great asset. It's a great asset to have in our corner. So shout out to them. Shout out
Lieutenant Pranveet Patel. Lieutenant Nick Hammer.
Smith got suspended today, so RIP.
We love you guys, though. We appreciate you guys. It's actually funny. One of the because like you said, they changed all their 1-star reviews to 5 stars, but a couple of them wrote some really nasty comments. But the nasty comments still there saying how bad the podcast is, but now it's a 5-star review. So it's just
this pod sucks. I did see that.
Just shout out to everybody though who left reviews. I was talking with Fab yesterday, and he was like, "How many reviews do you think we're gonna get? After this move?" And I'm like, honestly, I'd be happy if we had over 50. That'd be sick for what we're doing right now, how new we are, how little promotion we're actually doing so far. I sent you guys a text. To quote myself, I think I said, "Holy fuck." We had 120. You guys are amazing. Almost all 5-star reviews. We have no 1-star reviews, but there's 2 or 3 2-star reviews. So maybe we have people that are I'm not fully sold on these guys, but we'll take away the 1-star. So shout out to you guys too. We'll make you turn them into 5 stars eventually.
That's awesome. You guys are the best.
Also, we have a sponsor tonight. I kept this as a surprise from you guys. Do we want to do our ad read real quick?
Yeah.
So today we are sponsored. I just got off the horn with our boy Bezos. We had some deep negotiations, a lot of talks, a lot of legwork to get this deal done. But we are officially sponsored by the behemoth itself, Amazon, baby.
Oh.
If you're wondering why they're in the news lately doing some promo, they recently purchased the company behind Roomba, iRobot. And it's been described as Amazon's deadliest and most dangerous acquisition to date, both in terms of their monopoly and in terms of the company that already has a camera, a microphone, and speakers in your house. Now is going to have a map of the layout of your house, which I'm sure they're going to do some fun and exciting stuff with. So we're excited to get behind them.
Love that.
You can stream Rick and Fab No Ball straight from your Echoes and Alexas, and just say, Alexa, Rick and Fab No Ball, and she'll get you there right away. Use promo code Privacy is Dead for 15% off your next Roomba. So thank you, Bezos. It's great talking to you. Great having you sponsor the pod.
Appreciate you, Bezos.
Appreciate
that
you, Bezos.
Bald-headed fuck
huge.
Has a place in my heart.
We're going to work towards getting speakers on the Roombas. So you can tell the Roomba, a Roomba and Alexa all in one.
And then you can have Rick and Fab No Ball in any corner of the house.
And then we will technically clean your house.
I've already sent some preliminary designs to the guys over at Amazon for their new Roombas, just making it into the Rick and Fab No Ball logo. Because it is a ball. It is a nice sphere. Who doesn't want a Rick and Fab No Ball branded Roomba in their home? It's guys, they'll be on the shelves soon. We'll get you the code for that. You can't wait. They're going to be great.
Yeah. I actually heard back from them on that design. They said they love the idea, but it's a little too duct tape intensive. So we'll see. What's our favorite teams check in? Is that next?
No, we got the one that I forgot.
Oh,
Let's
the
see if
dog
you
and
remember.
awards.
Yeah, we got the dog, and wait, let me get him out. There he is.
Yeah, that
The
dog
in him award. Rick,
So-
you want to kick us off?
Before we do the real dog in him award, I want to announce a runner-up. It actually happened in 2015, but the tweet went viral this week. A high school girls basketball coach was suspended for beating a team 161-2.
I love that.
How does that even happen? Mind you, the score at halftime, the other team only had one, so they did not score a field goal at any point. This is 50% from the free throw line. Discipline. So yeah, he got suspended for literally doing his job too well.
The coach of the team who scored 2 should have been fired.
Right.
Well, yeah.
That
He's
should have been
jailed.
a permanent suspension.
I
But
wonder what
that's
the spread
our
was on
runner-up.
that game. What do
What'd
you think
you
the
say,
spread
Phil?
was?
The spread? Well, the
Yeah.
game that the next game with the coach's son coaching because he was suspended, they won like 80-2.
So probably
yeah,
at least like
there was a
70-point
behemoth
favorites.
cooking.
Just lockdown defense. You love to see it.
Yeah.
Teaching the kids right.
Some girl came off the bench and shot 8 for 9 from 3 in the second half. He did pull the starters, so not really much you can do. He pulled off his patented full court trap, I guess. So shout out to this coach. I'll try to find a name real quick. I know he's a listener.
He's a ball gazer, yeah. I mean, other than taking out your starters, what can you do as a coach? Like what?
To be a good enough coach to be able to win at that to that extent, I think you kind of have to listen to Rick and Fab No Ball because everybody
Right.
successful in the industry is kind of getting our input.
Mhm.
We might need to get him as a guest.
Yeah.
Michael Anderson from Aurora Valley, California.
Shout out
We'll be
Michael.
reaching out.
Coach Anderson.
But
Coach Andy, what I like to call him.
the winner of this week's Got That Dog in Him award is former New England offensive lineman Rich Orenberger, who admitted this week his phone died in the middle of the night, so his battery didn't go off. He was on his way. He realized he would be 10 minutes late to the meeting, which if you're a fringe guy or not an established, or even if you are established, if you're a guy on that Patriots roster and you're late, you're not following the Belichick way, and you're gonna get cut. So he's driving there. This guy, for the record, he only appeared in 31 games. He made 5 starts during his 6 years in the league. He was a 4th-round pick, so understandable the position he was in. He's realized he's gonna be late. He sees a church fan that's all battered up, and he says, "Fuck it, I'm gonna hit this thing." So insurance fraud is the Belichick way, I guess. Maybe he should be suspended for his being an accomplice to insurance fraud.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's just a hilarious story, Fab. Any takes on the Patriot way and how it led to this assault of a church?
Well, yeah. I mean, if you're on the Patriots, you watch a guy like Jonas Gray go out there and what do he run for 4 touchdowns or something in a big game, and then late to a practice or a meeting the next week, and I don't know if anybody's ever heard from Jonas Gray again. I don't even know if he's alive. And this is a guy who fucking, like I said, scored 4 touchdowns. Nobody's safe over there, and at Gillette Stadium in Foxborough. That's, I mean, what an all-time move! Like going to those lengths. You gotta praise the guy. That might be something I have to throw into my little bag of tricks there. Not like total my car, but you just kind of bump into something like, oh, I got into a car accident. Not my fault.
I've wanted to do this so many times. I'm not gonna lie. Like I'm just like, all I gotta do is just a little tap. Like, even like a little pull or something. I could be like, oh, I gotta deal with the insurance company. Got to get my car in the shop. Like a little late for work. A little too high to go into work back in the day. I'm like. Not now,
obviously.
But like back in the day, I came this close like many times to doing it.
I might do it tomorrow.
They call it the call of the void. Does anyone else have that where you're like on the freeway going 90 and you're like, damn, I could move my wrist an inch and literally like kill me and a lot of other people?
Yep. Yeah. All the time.
The call of the void, they call it.
I was thinking today that like It's kind of crazy. We just like drive cars. Like I know
Dude,
it's like whatever, but
I
we
was
drive
thinking
like
this too.
these 2-ton like vehicles that could just kill everyone in our path, like
death machines.
And we're like 16-year-old kids that just have to pass like a 15-minute basic ass fucking test to be able to operate one of these. It's absurd.
I think about this often, Mir, because obviously I've been driving DoorDash throughout college, just a few hours a week, try to keep the bills paid. One summer, I worked for a drywall company and I drove a truck for them. It was an 18-footer. I was making deliveries to the job sites downtown, waking up at 4 a.m., going and clocking in. My job I had before that was also like for my aunt's concrete company. I wasn't usually driving the truck. It was usually just a Honda, but was all over the interstate every summer. So at the young age of 22, I've got more miles on the road than I think almost anybody other than like lifelong truckers. And it is shocking how bad the average person is at driving. Like everybody is just so bad at driving. We have such low standards for getting your license and such low standards for keeping it. It is actually insane just how bad at driving the average driver is.
Yeah.
Because when you think about it like that, it's almost like you're surprised that more people don't, like, obviously a lot of people die, but you're surprised it doesn't happen more often. Because like when you're out there, it's usually, I mean, unless you suck at driving, which I don't think any of us do, you're more worried about the other people on the road than yourself. Because like you can't control what fucking 10, 15 cars around you on these lanes are going to do on the highway. Like it's crazy. I think about it almost every day.
The biggest advice you can give to someone driving is like, look out for the other guy.
Yeah.
There was my fucking Honda Accord, my favorite car ever. It got totaled because some crackhead literally just rear-ended me while I was just cruising down the freeway. Just absolutely drilled me. The guy got out of his car and he's like slurring his words. He said he took too much of his like sleep medicine, but drugs were involved. So yeah. It's truly insane. Like being on the road and like you said, Mir, like people operating 2-ton metal boxes doing 80 miles an hour and like how none of them really take it seriously.
Yeah. And I just thought of this, found the picture real quick. Can't believe it. Don't judge my look here, but you know how some yearbooks in high school, you have the senior superlatives. It's like most likely to be a pro athlete, most likely to be president, always seen smiling. I was most likely to get in a fender bender.
No way. For what reason?
Because I was blind as fuck and all my friends were assholes, and the voting happened in the homeroom, and like all my friends and me were spread out in homeroom, so they were like, yo, everybody vote Alex Lemire for this, vote Alex Lemire for this. And what do you know, most like I hadn't been in a car accident. That was my fault at this point. I got in one, not my fault. I actually got some money from it, kind of sick, but my friends were just dicks, and the fact my school even had this as an option, it's like the only negative one there was. Like I said, could have been most likely to be president or funniest class clown, something. No, most likely to get in a fender bender.
Not to brag.
Mir, I actually am within arm's reach of my bookshelf, so I'm gonna send you a picture of the superlative I won.
Oh, let's go. Yeah, I'll get it up on the pod.
Well, it'll be a surprise when the picture gets pulled up.
Was it most likely to be a professional athlete?
No.
I won that one, not to brag.
But dude, also, Mir, you said don't judge the look. Let me just add the disclaimer. I put on a ton of weight in high school because I was a left tackle. My diet was a gallon of milk a day. So the double chin's a little more prominent in this photo, so no judgments here. Let me just cross out the government name. Not that I'm anonymous.
It's hard to zoom in here, but I have like the biggest pimple ever right in the middle of my forehead. It looks like one of those like little jewels for the forehead. And my hair was so long, and I just spiked it up in every single direction. I don't know what the fuck was going on here, boys. I can't wait to see Rick's art.
I've actually wondered that because you do not look like an offensive lineman at all. So I've always been curious because you talk about being a lineman, but it's just I wondered like how that works.
I guess you're tall, but I went to a super small school. I was that was the main thing. Like there was no studs at the position, but I was pretty good, man. I was second team all county. I kind of made up for being like less big and strong by just like kind of really mastering the technique
Drinking
and like
milk.
being smart. I was like, the center usually is the one identifying the front, so I had to do that from the left side of the line, so that was tough. But Mere, do we see the superlative? I'll just say it was insanely accurate. Like
I'll
one
have
of the
it
rare
up in,
times
like,
the high school superlative is absolutely nailed.
Most likely to work for Barstool? Is that what it was?
Part-time. Yeah, part-time though. They said most likely to work part-time for Barstool.
Wait,
all right, we ready to reveal this?
No.
Oh.
Are you an idiot, bro? Did you actually buy that?
I thought you were being serious.
Most likely to win the lottery and lose the ticket, which is just spot on. I lose everything.
Yeah.
That's a milk boy right there.
Mess of human being.
That's a good one. That's a gallon of milk if I've ever seen it right there.
Yeah.
Gallon of milk a day guy. Like not
reveal.
fat, just that's a milk body.
That's more of a left tackle build. In those days, I told people I was a left tackle. Nobody questioned me. But now that I did my freshman year nicotine and pot diet, I get some questions.
Yeah. Picture's not loading for me. I'll look at it later.
It was just on the screen, brother.
It was?
It's up again. It was just up for like a minute, bro.
I never saw it.
Rough 60-second show in there
now?
for Fab.
No.
It's up right now. Oh my God. What?
Yeah, I don't see it.
Your StreamYard is bugging today. I can't wait for you to see the beginning of the show when it was like literally two of you out of nowhere. It was two Fabs.
Schrodinger's Fab. That's fucking crazy.
All right, so we getting into it. Our little check-in. We all got some stuff going on right now.
Only one of us has good stuff going on. Who wants to go first?
So let me just pull up my notes here for the Bears.
You guys go first. Yeah.
So, pain. That's what being a Chicago Bears fan is. That's all it will ever be. That's all it's been for me in my life. And that's what it'll continue to be. I always make the joke the Bears invent a new way to ruin my day every day, that I roll out of bed in the morning and the Bears ruin my day. That is quite literally what happened this morning. I woke up at about a brisk 9 a.m. I'm a working man now, so I'm on more of a normal sleep schedule. Get up at 9, open the old Bird app first. First I frantically looked around for my vape, found that, took some rips, opened the old Bird app, and the first thing I see is a Packers fan tweeting, wonder how the Bears are going to spin this. Bears fans are going to spin this one. And I thought, oh, fuck.
Here we go.
Did a little more digging, and Roquan Smith, all-pro linebacker, one of the best linebackers in the NFL, only 25, requested a trade officially. And just fucking pay the guy. I've said it over and over. You hand Roquan a blank check and you get it over with. This is not something that should be a sticking point for a new front office trying to establish a culture. Potential free agents see this. The young guys currently on the roster see this. This is the perfect opportunity for you to send a message and say, you come in here, you work your ass off, and we'll take care of you. But no, I've given up on the Bears doing the competent thing, even the explainable thing, even the normal thing, the thing that isn't the worst possible thing to do at any moment. The Bears figure out a way to do it. So Roquan, he was like, and in his statement, he's reiterating over and over, like you could feel the emotion in his notes app, which is a first. You could feel the emotion from that notes app trade request. You could feel his love for the fans in the city. He was even out at practice today, just walking around in gym clothes, like, just fucking pay the man. And there might be more information behind the scenes here because Roquan is his own agent. He doesn't have a professional in here representing the business transaction. So I would love to be proven wrong and find out that the front office is being smart here. And I would love for everyone to just figure out and make sure Roquan stays in Chicago. But no, I'm a Bears fan, so I have to have some drama that makes me sad going on at all times. So yeah, not too strong of thoughts on the subject. How are your guys' teams doing?
Well, I actually saw more. I just wanted to read this tweet to you and see what you thought. Didn't Roquan hold out his rookie camp and create all that drama to get his current contract that he's failing to honor? I get wanting a long-term deal done, but he signed it with his 5th-year option. Hell, according to something, he has the 6th biggest cap hit at his position this season and is set to make $3 million more than last season overall, and his base salary is $8 million more too. I feel like I saw more Bears fans than I expected that were like fine with him, like being traded and him being gone, which I didn't expect at all.
There's no way to be fine with him being traded. There's no pick package that we get back that's realistic that'll make this feel okay. So I'm not sure about that angle, but yeah, he didn't sign his rookie deal until like halfway through the preseason. There was drama with that. So that's where I kind of say maybe there's more going on behind the scenes. Maybe him being his own agent is what's fucking this and not Ryan Poles, but it's just frustrating. He's one of the very, very, very few bright spots we've had to watch over the last few years. He's one of the only guys that's stuck around and who fans can still like root for and have a connection to. So yeah, that kind of supersedes what the smart financial move is here for me. Yeah, because
in my head I was like, oh well, I thought he was like 28 or 29 older, so I was like, okay, maybe like I get it, but 25 you said? Like
25, yeah.
Superstar.
He's entering the 5th year of his rookie contract.
Like there's really, I would be so pissed if I was a Bears fan. I was pissed for you guys. That's absolute bullshit.
He specifically called out the front office and said they refused to negotiate in good faith. Every step of this journey has been take it or leave it. The deal sent to me is one that would be bad for myself and the entire linebacker market if I sign it. So yeah,
I can't wait for the Bills to ship you guys Tremaine Edmonds in like a 4th for him.
Let's start with Josh Allen and then maybe I'll think about it. Okay.
Tremaine Edmonds only 24 during his 5th year too.
I might even
kind of
send you Justin back if the offer's on the table. If we're feeling generous, maybe we could just
no Justin slander because I'm invested in him from a card standpoint and I like him. So I've been ignoring these training camp videos that have not been so favorable so far. We believe in Justin here.
Yeah, pro Justin. Other than he had a nice throw today to Darnell Mooney. Nice little one-handed catch on the sideline there. That was nice.
I did see that. Reports out of camp are that he's looking great. There's been some miscues with the offense, but his throwing motion's a lot quicker. His footwork seems like something he's emphasized on cleaning up. Kind of just the stuff from a technical standpoint. Coaches never going to trash their QB, but they said he's picking up the new system. He's working hard. So, God, I just hope he's good. If Justin Fields is good, then everything else is out the window. Trade Roquan Smith. I don't care. That's a trade-off I'm willing to make. I just need to see a good quarterback. I'm tired, guys. I'm exhausted.
Do you want
to this is weighing down my soul. This stuff takes a toll on me.
Do you want to sound off a little bit on our guy N'Keal Harry? It seemed like he had a pretty serious injury, so that's a huge loss there.
Yeah, the Super Bowl is off, guys. I know we had hopes, but N'Keal Harry really derails the whole season.
That's tough.
I saw one tweet from like a Bears beat reporter, which just cracked me up. He goes, N'Keal Harry is looking like an absolute specimen out there. You can really tell this guy is such a talented and pure athlete. He's only running routes on air right now, but wow. So we know N'Keal Harry looks like an animal when there's no defense whatsoever out there. He hasn't been looking like an animal with the defense out there in camp. But hey, if there's ever a scenario where he's playing against air in a game, we got him in the end zone. So
he can absolutely torch some oxygen off the line. Don't ask him to catch the ball, but if you want him to run a nice little route with nobody on him, he's your guy. He's your guy. He'll be back.
If we're ever in a Sean Taylor situation where the defense only brings out 10 guys, torched.
Yeah.
Next episode, I'll bring out the stats. I'll re-download Madden 2020 so I can show you guys what N'Keal Harry's potential is, according to Madden. We have Josh Allen throwing like 23 touchdowns a year to N'Keal Harry right now. The man's I believe in him purely based off of that.
You just gotta wait till N'Keal Harry gets in the system tooled for him. That just watch out for that. Watch out for that. Coming soon. Got a long recovery ahead of him, it looks like. I hope he gets better, but
yeah,
N'Keal will be back. Should I talk about the Patriots a little bit? I don't have a lot to say.
Foxborough Place, is that what it's called?
Patriot Place,
Patriot
Foxborough,
Place.
yeah.
Foxborough Way.
Let's just clarify here. We only have training camp to talk about, but I don't think either of us, like I'm not paying attention to Bills or Pats camp. I'm assuming you're not paying attention to Bears camp. But there's nothing going on right now. This is all we have to talk about. And this is one of the things that makes football great is overreacting to everything in training camp and getting off your motherfucking takes. So, Fab, what takes do you have for us on Patriots camp?
My first take is that Joe Judge and Matt Patricia both need to die. I hate both of them so much. And these two idiots are going to be running the offense this year, apparently. According to Bill, job titles aren't important.
There's no offensive coordinator, right? Like it's just...
we don't have a defensive coordinator either. We don't have anything. I think we have a special teams coach. We don't have anything other than that. We lost one of the greatest offensive line coaches ever, Dante Scarnecchia. It's been a disaster since. Keeping up with like the training camp reports, the offense has been horrible. And the biggest concern for me has been, or up until now, I was concerned that the defense was going to suck. It looks like the offense can't even like move the ball like against our ones on defense. Like it's been some of the worst seeming like practices, training camp that the Patriots have ever had. Like the reports are actually like quite concerning that I'm seeing. The offense just like, it seems like we don't really have an offense. It's kind of just, I mean, we saw what Joe Judge is capable of in New York with the Giants, that little QB sneak on 3rd and 8 or whatever it was. Like I am prepared for some truly gruesome football from the New England Patriots this year. And similar to what Rick said, all I care about is Mac. Like if Mac looks good, I don't care what happens. But I'm preparing myself for just some gross football from the Patriots this year. I have no idea what to expect.
You guys might run the ball 40 times a game.
That's what I think it's going to be.
You have like 6 viable running backs right now.
Because it seems like where they're kind of the offense that they're kind of adopting. Obviously, Bill's not going to give you any information or tell you anything about what we're doing, but kind of like a Kyle Shanahan type, just like pound the ball. But it seems the reports out of training camp the past like week have been that the offensive line stinks. Which, if you remember, we did draft what's his name, Cole Strange, in the first round, and it's not looking very promising over in Foxborough. I'm not all that excited. I'm excited for football. I'm not excited for the Patriots.
That's tough.
Yeah, I don't know. I did give out Patriots win total over on this show not too long ago, and I'm not feeling great about that already.
I have 2 takes on that information, Fab.
All right.
So one, we've been hearing similar stuff about the Bears offense kind of struggling against the defense. We're also bringing in a new system. Not Matt Patricia and Joe Judge, the Packers' former OC. So someone who's actually had success running an offense. So I'm excited for that. But it's much harder, and especially with a new offense, it's much harder for an offense to learn and like pick up stuff than it is a defense. From what I understand about ball and training camp, like installing a new offensive system, it's much more difficult than it is for a defense to start clicking. So I wouldn't tweet much about that. I would be I'm not trying to be pro Judge and Patricia, because I would be very tweaked about that whole situation and having Joe Judge in my young developing quarterbacks here. But it's difficult for the offense to kind of get their gears clicking, especially the Patriots have a really solid defense, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, our secondary is kind of the big question mark. Like we have a good like front seven, like good-ish. But the secondary is really where it starts to get shaky. But normally I wouldn't be that concerned. My concern is that what have we ever seen Joe Judge and Matt Patricia run an offense? Like we've seen Matt Patricia as a head coach, not
Joe
good.
Judge was a special teams guy,
right? So these guys, these are not offensive-minded guys. These guys have never ran an offense before. So this is who we have running our offense. That's where my concern comes in. If we had somebody who had successfully run an offense before and it looks shaky right now, I'd be like, okay, they're probably going to be fine. We have nothing. There's no history to show that either of these guys know what they're doing at all. So that's what's really concerning to me.
And then my second take is I'm very interested to see like how long of a leash Belichick has, and how much does his football genius reputation protect him from people being like, hey, maybe we should have an offensive and defensive coordinator. Hey, maybe Joe Judge shouldn't be our quarterback coach. Like, is there ever a point where Boston turns on, I don't want to say turns on Belichick, because that, I think never happened. You never know with Boston sports fans, but at what point does he kind of start to feel some heat and have to answer some uncomfortable questions?
I don't think Kraft would be afraid to, like, cut ties if it's, it seems like he needs to, but he made the playoffs last year with Mac Jones. Until he really starts to fuck up, until these problems, keep the Patriots from making the playoffs, their performance dropping, like, I think he's just completely safe. But I don't think Kraft would be afraid to say, hey, the next 2 years you missed the playoffs and it's just a shit show. There's no structure or anything. Kraft wouldn't be afraid to be like, go to Belichick and say, hey, we're moving on. Will you just step down kind of deal? I feel like it'd be respectful, but.
Yeah, I mean, there's the past 2 years, there's been a whole lot of, I wouldn't, definitely not the majority, but definitely plenty of Pats fans out there that think that the game is past Belichick by. I just don't want to see Belichick go out like in flames, like with just total disaster. I think I trust Belichick still, even regardless of everything I just said. I still trust Belichick ultimately, and I trust that he'll leave kind of, that he won't let it get that bad, you know what I mean, and then just leave, because that would just, nobody would, like, it's been so awesome all these years, obviously the 6 Super Bowls, like, to see him go out sad, like, and crash and burn, that would just be one of the saddest things we've ever seen.
Imagine Belichick gets fired, goes to a team, let's say in Florida, for example, like the Dolphins or the Buccaneers, and wins a Super Bowl in his first year as head coach. How do you feel?
That'd be vile.
Same thing Brady did. Because the thing is, it's whether people want to believe it or not, it is like Brady and Belichick have that pissing contest, and I don't think that I think they respect each other, but it's definitely a little rivalry between those two. But I would be shocked if Belichick left the Patriots and went and coached somewhere else. I think when he leaves the Patriots, I think he's hanging them up for good.
Or I could see him just like going to Alabama and being like a D-line coach or like a defensive consultant for Saban, just because you guys are buddies.
Yeah, I could see that more than anything. I would be floored if Belichick went to a different team. But I'm just hoping he can hold it together, and I'm not expecting anything great from the Patriots. I think if we make it to the playoffs, we'll lose in the first round, I'd consider that a success for the season.
We are a pro Mac Jones podcast.
That's right.
Here's Mac Jones.
All we care about is Mac.
I have a bonus take for you. I just wanted to get off real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Former Patriot Stephon Gilmore, current Indianapolis
former Buffalo Bill.
He has been an absolute no-fly zone in Colts camp. There's a lot of buzz around him, maybe capturing back some of that prime. He's been looking great.
Similar to to the Colts. So I did pedal back on my Patriots overtake, and I also wanted to pedal back on my Colts undertake. I got some heat from Colts Twitter. That's not what influenced my decision, though. It was partly your TikTok, actually. The Colts
content. Follow Barstool Indy on TikTok and all other platforms.
Yeah, shout out Cocaine Jesus. He's been up my ass about this. The Colts are going to be really good, and I'm very worried about our matchup with the Colts. I think that
I'm now ugly. A prominent member of Colts Twitter, so you start talking shit, I could sick the dogs on you very fast.
I'm a Frank Wright guy.
No, I mean, like, I haven't liked the Colts in the past, but I kind of looked at the team. Like, I like Jonathan Taylor, I like Matt Ryan, I like Naheem, I like Pittman. Like, they're gonna be good. I was quick to bash them on that segment we did a few episodes ago, so I'd like to apologize to Colts Nation.
Thank you.
They're probably
on behalf of Colts Nation. Thank you, as a 5-day member of Colts Nation. Thank you,
the ambassador of Colts Nation. Yeah.
I could kind of be happy for Gilmore again, too, because when he left the Bills, I hated him because we weren't in a great spot. Bills' first-round pick, he was probably our best player on the entire roster for a while there. And, you just want to hate him. He had bad comments about Buffalo after he left and all this shit. Goes to the Patriots. Makes you want to hate him, but not too many things make me want to hate right now on other people in the NFL.
I have no ill will towards Gilmore at all. I'm a big fan of Gilly Lock. He's going to be obviously very good for the Colts. And I think I realized my problem with the Colts was mostly Carson Wentz, and he's not there anymore. So I really don't have any reason to hate the Colts. I hate Carson Wentz.
We can talk about that in a bit. In a future segment. Mere, is it still all sunshine and rainbows up in Buffalo, New York? How's your camp going?
I'd say
Apple's out
things
the
are.
door, new OC coming in. Is he bringing a new scheme? Is offense struggling at all? How do we look?
So we have Ken Dorsey, who is a superstar. He was being interviewed for other offensive coordinator positions. He was a big reason why Josh Allen's Josh Allen.
He was
our
QB
quarterback coach and assistant offensive coordinator the whole time.
Okay.
What he's dialing up in camp, like Case Keenum was quoted today, he's like our third string quarterback right now. May probably end up being second. We'll see with Barkley. People love Barkley here, though. But he's just like, the plays this guy calls are just magical. And he was a big influence on Dable. And, Dable's already struggling. Dable's like on bringing – he steals Bobby Johnson, our offensive line coach. He steals a few of our players like John Feliciano, whatever. Now you have Bobby Johnson punching his own players and John Feliciano getting dragged out of camp after starting brawls. Things are not so great over there at Dable camp. I'm okay losing them because we have the good replacement, and Bills Mafia doesn't. We just had 40,000 fans at a fucking practice. 40,000 at a practice. Insane. It is. Josh Allen is a fucking superstar. He is like Elvis back in his prime. There's nothing that gets the people going like Josh Allen. Comes out in camp earlier this week rocking the red helmet, which we've been begging for forever, just to tease people in the visor and everything. He's the man of the people. I'm so confident in the Bills this year. And it's like, I love our roster. Not much better you can do. Oh, wait. Von Miller is now actively recruiting OBJ, who is saying, let's make it happen for like the third time publicly. I think OBJ to the Bills is something that might actually happen. Just keep him deactivated till Christmas. Bring him in. You got another option there, but it's going to be a big year, boys. There's so much hype. Last year, there was a lot of hype, especially, built throughout the season. But there's never been hype like this for a Bills season before. Like, this is the year. This is the year. Not like, we're built to win right now. We're set for a while. Brandon Beane's a genius. Our future and the immediate future is great. But this is the fucking year. And it's incredible. The preseason game this Saturday, going to be insanity. It's going to be like a playoff game for others.
Yeah, you bring up that you guys are kind of built for success long term, and like being a genius. To me, like promoting from within is very indicative of a franchise that's built for long term success on an organizational level. I think kind of the nightmare if you're a franchise trying to establish yourself as a long term contender and consistent contender. Your like worst case scenario is that your coordinators do so good they get poached, which is exactly what happens. So the fact that they thought, oh, let's just bring up the next guy. That's a very good sign for me if I'm a Bills fan. And secondly, Josh Allen in the city of Buffalo is just a match made in heaven. I love that he has realized his potential there. I love that he embraces the fan base as much as they embrace him. That's a city that's been starving for a quarterback to root for. It's kind of similar to Chicago. If you're a quarterback that can bring home a title to Buffalo, you won't have to buy a drink in that city for the rest of your life. You'll literally be a god. So I think I'm very much rooting for the Bills.
I wish Josh Allen was either not cool or not handsome, but he's both of those things along with being a really good football player.
I can relate to that personally, so I have some sympathy for him.
It's hard because like I'm everything like I should hate him and I should hate the Bills, but like I really just can't. Because it's not like it would be different if like I thought that the Patriots were built to like contend and like, it wasn't like set in stone, but it kind of just at this point, I feel like everybody just agrees that it's set in stone. So it doesn't hurt as bad to kind of almost root for Josh Allen and the Bills because we already know what's going to happen. You know what I mean? It's kind of like the Bills. And then, I mean, honestly, the three teams after the Bills could be in any order and I wouldn't be shocked. Like, I think the Jets are going to turn some heads, but everything's looking good up in Buffalo, which I'm happy for Mere. He deserves it.
Mere said the hype was like through the roof. I feel like that's kind of proportional hype because you guys have really had a linear progression. You had the playoff appearance. Your second go around in the playoffs, you really make a run. You give Kansas City and Pat Mahomes, who are the perennial contenders, you give them everything they got to run for their money. You're a coin toss away. But yeah, if I'm a Buffalo fan, it's Super Bowl or bust this year.
That's 100% it.
A ton of pressure to put on your guys, but that's just what the expectation has to be.
Yep. It's
looking
good.
forward to
just
the
growing up
matchups
as a
this year.
drought baby. Like we talked about before
baby,
the show.
that's
That's why we call it the Bills. We had one of the longest droughts in pro sport history. Our last playoff appearance was 99, I believe. I was born in 95, so I'm a 4-year-old. I didn't experience any of those Super Bowls. I was 4 for the playoffs. I didn't even like the Bills when I was younger because they were so bad for when I was cognitive of what the NFL was and what was going on. And it just sucked. It was, 2 decades of losing every single year. We had 1 year with a winning record, thanks to fucking Kyle Orton. We went 9-7, sick. That's what we had to look forward to, is maybe going 8-8, maybe getting a top 5 pick in the draft, and then just Josh Allen. I know he struggled early on. The 9-6 playoff loss to Houston to kick off his playoff career. Disgusting. Gets better and better. He just has to conquer that Patrick Mahomes mountain, and the league is his for the next decade.
I love that drought baby term.
Drought baby. I'm a drought baby, man. I knew nothing but misery and Tom Brady growing up.
My equivalent to that, I haven't gotten the term to catch on yet. I'm still working on it. It's Gen D. So that's what I always refer to myself as, because I was born in the last year that the literal greatest athlete of all time won his 6th championship for Chicago. The only success I have known as a Bulls fan has been the Derrick Rose years. So that's why it's Gen D. All I've had to root for is D Rose.
I thought you were going to say Gen D because all you've had is really good defenses for the Bears.
Oh, that's another good one. Well, that's like the identity of the Bears going back to 85.
Was Brian Urlacher your hero growing up?
What's that?
Was Brian Urlacher your hero growing up?
One of them. He was. He's actually 54 is in my all my passcodes and pins. So, yeah, Urlacher was my guy.
We'll cut that.
I was a big Jay Cutler guy. I got in. I caught a lot of heat at the lunch table for how hard I rode for Jay Cutler.
Jay Cutler is awesome. He's awesome post-career.
Is he the best quarterback in Bears history?
Oh yeah, no questions asked. The only other guy that has an argument is Sid Luckman, who played when segregation was still a thing. And I don't know if that actually lines up historically, but he's fucking old.
You had some cool names.
Jim McMahon has his case, but he has the ring. He doesn't have kind of the longevity.
Yeah.
Matt Forte, though, Devin Hester.
Oh my God.
You have some fun people to root for.
I'm so glad to hear other people.
Mushin Muhammad.
I'm so glad that non-Bears fans remember Matt Forte, because
such a goat.
That dude would have been Hall of Fame if he played on more successful teams. Just an unbelievable running back.
He's a monster.
Maybe the greatest player in fantasy football history.
Yeah. Guaranteed 20 a week in standard.
He was the PPR king before anybody threw to their running backs. His first career run was an 80-yard touchdown against the Colts. I love Matt Forte.
He was awesome. He was awesome for a while. What do we got?
Are we on our last segment here?
We got one. We got 2. We have this one suggested by Fab. Actually, great one. I didn't see it until Fab told me about it. Kyler Murray deep dive. We'll let Fab.
Yeah, this is the podcast where I just go back on my old takes and change them. Do we have the graphic or? Yeah, so a lot of deep analytics came up of Kyler Murray not performing as well on double XP weekends and whatnot. And I've been on record on this pod hating on Kyler Murray, but I kind of thought about it on my drive to work. This is just a guy who plays too much video games. He's just like me.
Yeah.
He's literally just like me, for real. He just loves to play COD. Who among us hasn't gotten in a little trouble for playing too much video games? And that's all Kyler Murray's doing. So I think I totally changed my tune on Kyler. I think I might be the biggest Kyler fan in the world. I think I might get a jersey. I'm going to be the Kyler Murray and Kevin Durant guy.
Cardinals or FaZe jersey?
Oh, that's a good one.
Get the split jersey Cardinals in phase.
They have to sell that, and if not, then I'm gonna invent it. I'm gonna make $1 billion.
Holy shit!
But going forward, I would like to take back all of my Kyler Murray slander. I am pro Kyler, and I think he's gonna. Actually, no, I'll hold that for the next segment. But yeah, I mean, he's just a guy who likes to play video games. I mean, are we really gonna hold that against him? I feel like when athletes do things that we can relate to, we should, rather than make fun of them, we should praise them. You know what I mean? Like, and that's the most relatable thing a football player's ever done is play too much Call of Duty.
Seriously, for the listeners, if you're not on YouTube looking at the graphic, well, get to YouTube, like the video, subscribe, look at it. But it's crazy. Like a minus, nearly 8% difference on his passer rating on double XP weekend, minus 6 yards per game passing. His completion percentage is worse. He wins 53% of his games normally. He's 4-7 on double XP weekends. It's like statistically there. He is worse on double XP weekends. He's a member of FaZe. He is streaming all the time, especially during the season. He doesn't care. This is actually a thing, I think. Like, it's not just a weird correlation or trend. I think this is actually a thing. He's just like us.
I cannot wait for the new Call of Duty to come out during the season. I don't know what week it is, but people, because people know like his gamer tag. People are going to find a way to track his hours logged, like when he's playing. Like, it's going to be crazy. And I am from here forward. I am Team Kyler.
All right, November 10th.
You know that they're going to put up like 6 points that week when the new COD comes out, and Kyler's going to throw like 3 picks. He's going to get sacked a bunch of times. And all he's going to be thinking about is like the new.
Do we lose Fab?
Oh, we lost Fab for a second there. But no. I'll finish his thought. All he's going to be thinking about is the new COD. I just did a deep dive, and I'm putting a reminder in our phone to bring it up on the pod and for us all to bet it. The new Call of Duty comes out November 10th. The Cardinals play November 13th against the Rams, an afternoon game too. Kyler's going to try to sneak a few games in the morning with that 4:25 start. 3 days after the release, he's going to be burnt out. We are fading the shit out of the Cardinals.
Yeah, I mean, at the bare minimum, it's very relatable. If I was an NFL quarterback, I'd want to do the least amount of film study possible, but that's just because I'm lazy. That's not a trait I'd want my franchise quarterback.
No, 100%. And yeah, Fab just dropped, so Fab. We should be getting him back soon. Fab's quick on those reloads, but it's just
like Kyler.
Kyler is quick. It's like, I don't know. Like, I think it's kind of sick, but it's like also like you're fucking over your team by playing video games. But like Fab said, he really is just one of us. Oh, we got Fab back. I just removed him as I went to add him.
Jesus.
Jeez, we're going off the rails.
I just hopped on my personal hotspot.
Just a side note, that week, that November 13th game, you can hammer the Cardinals live on the Barstool Sportsbook. So
yeah, future sponsors, of course. Fab, when you were gone, I made a reminder in my phone. New COD releases November 10th. Cardinals play the Rams afternoon game November 13th. Kyler's going to be playing every day leading up to that game, only 3 days in between, and it's an afternoon game. Probably going to get some morning games, and mine's going to be all on COD. We're fading the shit out of him.
He probably has to be at the stadium at like 10 o'clock that day. He's going to be on COD until probably 9:15.
Yeah, easily.
Like he's going to have every gun gold. Oh, dude, I can't wait for this. I can't wait to be a Kyler Murray stan. This is actually really exciting for me. I have a lot of tweets to delete, but I'm on the front lines of Kyler Murray defense team going forward.
We'll absolutely love to hear it. All right, so now we're getting into our last segment, guys. We're in hour 18. That's kind of wild. We're gonna definitely be under two,
guys.
Oh no,
another review has been brought to my attention from an account on the podcast platform called WBR Sucks.
No way.
Not some nice things to say. Made a whole different account. It was actually brought to my attention by Jersey Jerry Army, so we can't blame them for this one. We got a whole new subcategory of hater coming out of the woodwork. Absolutely terrible. WBR has begged Barstool for a job every day for a year. which yes, I have done daily. That's something
WBR.
I wake up. Yeah, you put it in air quotes. But yeah, I wake up in the morning and the first thing I do is tag Dave Portnoy personally and say, hey, hire me. I haven't been grinding my ass off building a following to hopefully get to this point. I just kind of tag him. And is now happily bragging he runs a Viceroy account part-time. Fair. It is part-time, but I've been very clear about that. I said it's nothing fancy for a terrible company with a rapist as their leader. So you don't have anything else to say about Barstool. You pull out the R-word playbook. Come for me all you want. Don't come for the boss, man. He has no involvement yet in Rick and Fab No Ball.
Right.
And they said we're as pathetic as it gets. So shout out to WBR Sucks for listening. We appreciate you.
Thank you, WBR
Definitely.
Sucks.
You definitely aren't living in his head rent-free or anything. Definitely not by any chance. His name is literally WBR Sucks.
Yeah. Pause.
Free,
why are you thinking about another dude so much?
Oh my God.
Beachfront property. I have a beachfront investment. I'm swimming in his dome and I'm doing water aerobics. That's how relaxed I am.
And the funniest part is, that he's like, you're listening to this right now. Whoever you're listening. Like, we know you're watching too. Like, you're watching, and you're glad that we're talking about you right now. That's actually hilarious.
Yeah,
thank you. Dude.
It's been strange ever since I took over the accounts. Like, a lot of people have come out of the woodwork and not been a fan of it. Which, like, whatever, man.
Jealousy.
It's actually chasing a dream. If you got to hate on that, it says a lot about you.
Another reason that it's good to have the Jersey Jerry Army on our side is recon like this. I feel like they're going to see things like that and kind of bring it to our attention. Those guys are fucking awesome, because it sucks having them like hate us. So like, now that they're on our side, like, that's kind of fire.
Yeah,
I love those guys.
We love them.
To quote Jay-Z, "Oh, you not feeling me? Fine, cost you nothing. Pay me no mind." So those are my thoughts.
Bars.
Let's get into our future.
Yep. Final segment. We are going to start hitting on some futures here and there. So we're going to talk NFL MVP tonight, folks. We are each going to give out a favorite and a dark horse, a little underdog action. What we like this year. Who wants to kick it off?
I'll go ahead and get started. Oh, Fab. No, Rick. By all means, brother.
All right. Fine.
Let's clarify, though, we are placing these future bets, and these odds are courtesy of the Barstool Sportsbook.
Yes, sir.
Shout out.
Right from a beautiful interface. Very easy to get these odds, I will say.
Shout out to Mir for the corporate synergy we got going here.
So my pick for the MVP this year in the NFL, I was kind of these odds were kind of weird to me. I was like, guys like Jonathan Taylor. When's the last time a non-QB? We should start with that. When's the last time a non-QB won the MVP?
So
it has to have been a while.
I'll look it up, but I would thought about putting Jonathan Taylor up there, but Jonathan Taylor had 1,850 rushing yards last year, and I don't think got an MVP vote. So,
and like I said in that TikTok, Hines is going to be much more involved this year. They want to kind of spread the ball around and limit his touches because he had the most touches in the NFL last year.
Last non-QB
was
Adrian Peterson. Non-QB was Adrian Peterson in 2012, and before that, LaDainian Tomlinson in 2006. So, doesn't happen very often, and that's what like. I thought about it. I'm like, Jonathan Taylor makes sense. Like, his odds are bad, but how much better can he do than last year? And he didn't even get a vote.
Okay, so that kind of throws that out, because I was going to give that as a dark horse, but it's like, no matter how good he is, he doesn't really have a chance to win it. My pick, deep down in my heart of hearts, I really think Josh Allen's going to win it. But my pick, I'm going to take Lamar Jackson. I mean, we've seen him win it before. I think Lamar has a huge bounce back year this year. Like, I feel like there's no player in the NFL or no superstar in the NFL that gets criticized and picked apart as much as Lamar does. I think he's got a lot to prove, and I think he's going to have a huge year. And then my dark horse, I guess, which pretty much is the same odds, is my guy Kyler Murray. I think this could be the year. I mean, obviously COD's coming out, so he's not going to be great that week, but I think he's really going to kind of lock in, kind of put COD to the side for a little bit for the end of the season, kind of put together a whole season this year rather than just a first half of the season. But my pick is going to be, I'm going to go with Lamar. I think Lamar has a huge year this year.
I like that. I hope Lamar gets paid before the season. He deserves it. It's just like a respect thing. But even if he doesn't at this point, it's just going to help him go off this year and want to prove a point. And I like that Lamar's got long odds there at 18-1. So I do like that. Obviously, you're a Kyler fan now. You got to take him at 20-1.
Yeah, I love those odds for Lamar.
Those are,
like you said, 18-1.
Those are nice. So I will get into it. Rick is still pissing. I hope everything's all right in there. We know he has a lot of problems in the bathroom. So yeah, we're praying for you. Why do they call it the restroom when Rick's fighting for his life in there? But he's back. He did not hear any of that, so that's good.
Wait, did you guys hear me?
No. Couldn't hear you. I don't know if you could hear us.
Wait, actually, or no? I can't tell if this is a bit.
What, can you hear us?
We couldn't hear you.
I can hear you guys.
Oh, okay. Yeah, now we can hear you.
Okay. Sick. Well, what'd I miss?
Rick Fav took Lamar Jackson and Kyler Murray.
Okay.
My guy Kyler.
I mean, the odds there are plus 1,800 and plus 2,000. So I don't feel like you followed the favorite in dog format, but that's fine.
Well, no, I did say deep down I think Josh Allen's going to win it, but value wise, I like Lamar and Kyler. So I mean, I guess technically my pick would be Josh Allen, but my dark horses are going to be Lamar and Kyler as my value guys.
I like it.
Not a ton of value with Josh.
Yeah, I
you
like
want
it.
to go?
I can go. What do you think?
What do I think? I don't know. Who do you think?
Well, I didn't know if you had a strong preference for going second.
Oh no, I'm good.
Okay. So my favorite, I kind of interpret that as like somebody in the top 4 or 5. So I'm going with Justin Herbert at plus 1,000 odds on the Barstool Sportsbook. His only quarterback in history to throw 30 touchdowns in his first 2 years. Very, very high volume. So we know the numbers are going to be there. It's just, to me, a matter of how well the Chargers do and if they put him in that position to be considered. They're obviously in a bloodbath of a division this year. He's playing Mahomes, Russell Wilson, and even Derek Carr. But I think if he can get out of that and bring the Chargers that success coming out of that division, he'll get a lot of respect and a lot of votes for that. Chargers have really invested in their offensive line, which is a weak point for them. They got a very solid defense, a lot of weapons around him. Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, Eckler. So he's got the weapons. He's probably going to have the numbers. To me, it's just a matter of how well the Chargers do and how far he can take them, which I think is very far. I'm high on them this year.
I agree with you on every front right there. Justin Herbert's
did I steal your pick?
Superstar. No. I think my favorite's pretty obvious, but I do like Justin Herbert a lot.
Yeah. And we were talking a bit about Jonathan Taylor. My dark horse is a fellow Indianapolis Colt, and I actually love this bet, and I'm going to be placing this bet on the Barstool Sportsbook. It's Matt Ryan at plus 4,000 odds. This is a guy who's proven he can win the MVP in the past, so we already know he's got the capability and the tools to do it, the tools to win games and have that regular season you need. Reports out of camp are just absolutely incredible for Matt Ryan. I've been following the Colts a lot more recently, obviously, so this might be a biased pick. But he's been looking great in camp. He's got a ton of weapons around him. Hines, he's got handed the ball off to Jonathan Taylor. That might be the only thing.
Pittman's going to have a monster year.
Yeah, that's the only thing that hurts Taylor is Taylor taking away so many touches. But he spreads the ball around, and he's got a ton of weapons around him. Alec Pierce, I think, is due for a breakout year for the Colts. Michael Pittman Jr., another guy due for a breakout. A lot of young guys, but a lot of high potential guys. What'd you say?
No, Pittman's a monster. He's going to have a huge year. I agree.
So I really like Matt Ryan, especially at these odds of plus 4,000. I think there's a ton of value there. I like him to wind back the clock this year. They're plugging him into an absolutely stacked Colts roster. He's got the weapons around him. He's proven he can do it before. I think he's winning MVP for the shoe this year.
I like that.
I like it. That's a nice dark horse right there. Yeah, he's done it before. He's in a great situation. He has a great offensive mind with Frank Reich as his head coach. And Colts, if they perform, I mean, he just has to get the ball in these guys' hands. So
right,
yeah, the big value on those odds
and
there.
Not to mention playing behind maybe the best offensive line in the NFL, as long as they can get healthy. He'll have time in the pocket. He'll stay on it 2 feet. That'll be huge for him.
100%.
Because he's had good they've had good running games for the Falcons with Matt Ryan in the past, but he's never had this backfield and this offensive line before in his career, which is actually kind of scary. Back to my point that the Colts are going to be really good, even though I said take their win total under. MereKat.
So I think this one is obvious for my favorite. I have him bet. He's plus 700, number one odds right now. I have him. I took him at plus 750, but tons of money came on him, so it moved down a little bit there. Plus 700 Barstool Sportsbook. It's Josh Allen. I mean, he was incredible last year. Obviously, it was Aaron Rodgers MVP. He ate up all the votes, but Allen got a couple votes, which was kind of nice. He got a little recognition, and there's so much hype behind him this year. People are going to be looking for him to lose it rather than win it like he was trying to do last year. And just the way he closed out in the playoffs. I mean, 9 touchdowns, fucking 780 yards in 2 games. The man is an absolute monster. He's going to be on a mission this year. Plus 700. It's not incredible value, but it's his award to lose.
He's the favorite for a reason.
Yep.
He's going to win.
I hope so. I very much hope so. And
I'm surprised. Not to interrupt, but I'm surprised to see Brady at 2 right behind him.
Yeah.
I was going to say I would bet Tom Brady not to win it, and I would feel very confident in that.
Right.
Like
shout out to
continue with Josh.
No, just shout out to your pick too.
Tom Brady while you're bragging about Josh
Herbert. You're good. Herbert actually just recently passed Josh for most money bet on a player to win MVP this year. So that's something to watch out for. So little money coming off of Josh. People are like he's a little too favorited, but my underdog. I really wanted to pick Derek Carr plus 3,000. I might actually just put a little bit on that myself because his setup this year, those are incredible, just value. But I'm going with Jalen Hurts. I really like Jalen Hurts. He's electric. He was dealing with a lot of shit his first 2 years in the league. And Sirianni last year didn't have trust in him. They weren't even sure he was going to be the starter. He started out a bit rocky. Ended up turning it up, taking control of that team, helping get them in the playoffs where not his best showing, but they're making a lot of improvements to just, help him out. A.J. Brown's one of the most, if not the most, quarterback-friendly receiver in the league. Devontae Smith is a star. They have guys like Quez Watkins and Dallas Goedert who are just reliable as hell. This is Jalen Hurts' position to lose, which I don't even think he's on a hot seat entering the season for the first time in his career. And he's a guy that needed playing time to develop. And last year, he got that playing time. Big make or break year for him. If the Eagles go off, the Eagles win that NFC East, it's going to be because of Jalen Hurts, and he's that type of electric, eye-grabbing quarterback with the plays he makes that I don't hate 25-1, and I'm a big fan.
I like that a lot, actually. Going to the Eagles just a little bit. Is Gardner Minshew, he still plays for the Eagles, right? Is he
Yeah, he's still their backup, but it's not – there was some questions here and there, but Hurts is their guy.
Yeah. There's definitely not 32. I'll go even further. I'll say there's not 27 quarterbacks in the NFL better than Gardner Minshew.
No chance.
Is that a hot take? Rick's face sounds like it's a hot take. I might have to. I mean, I could go through after the pod. I'm going to go through it and look, but there's definitely not 32 quarterbacks better than him. I would
if you
say
put Gardner Minshew on the Lions, they're winning 12 games.
No, dude.
Do you think that's
he
a hot
got
take?
A lot of hype, but he finished out very poorly his career at Jacksonville. He was not it.
It's also Jacksonville, though.
Yeah,
true. They're doing their best to ruin T-Law.
27 QB. I think he's kind of just your perfect backup QB.
I'll have to go 20 to 25 range.
I'll have to go look. We can revisit this. I'll give all the names.
Way, dude.
I'll give all the
next
names.
show. Maybe we do a tier maker NFL quarterbacks.
Yeah. I like that a lot. I'm gonna go through and look at all the starters, and I'm gonna find that Gardner Minshew is better than what did I say? 27?
Yeah.
No, not better than 27 of them. He is. There's not
He'd be like the bottom 5. Like he's better than the bottom 5 quarterbacks that are starters.
Yes.
right
That's what it is. My brain was just in an absolute pretzel there.
Yeah, I don't know how to even word it, and it's like
Gardner
something
Minshew,
very simple.
top 5 quarterback in the NFL. I'm gonna do some research. I'm gonna break down some numbers here, and I'm gonna come back with some more information on that next pod.
Just a quick look here. I would maybe put him over the Steelers' current situation, and that's about it. That's the only guys I'm taking. I would say Gardner has a chance.
I'm trying off the top of my head. I can't think.
I'd take him over. I'd take him over Jared Goff.
All right, well, let's do it real quick. Lamar, no. Allen, no. Burrow, no. Watson, no. Well, maybe. I don't know. Wilson,
Yes.
no. Davis Mills?
What about Carolina's situation? No, I'd take Baker over him.
Yep. Matt Ryan, no. Trevor Lawrence, no. Mahomes,
I'd
no.
probably maybe over Carson Wentz.
Yeah, over Carson Wentz, yes. Over Carson Wentz, yes.
I think his
That's 2,
ceiling's
right?
very low. I kind of think he's shown what he
well,
can
then
do.
with Goff, that's 3. If you
I don't think Minshew
least 3.
is like. I don't think he's going to grow into anything. Like I feel like his ceiling and his floor are right where they are, and we all know where they are. And he's pretty he's kind of a guy that can. He's not going to lose you a ton of games, but you can win.
He's better than Marcus Mariota.
Yes, he's better than what they got going on in
that's
Atlanta.
just off the top of the head.
Yeah, see? Okay, so I wasn't a crazy take. I knew it.
There's a lot of guys who jury is out on guys still. Like we have no idea. I'm a big fan of him, but we have no idea what Trey Lance is going to do.
Zach Wilson,
Zach Wilson might just be a shit show now with Mekhi Becton out too, the cornerstone of that offensive line. That sucks for him too. Obviously I want to shit on the Jets whenever, but hate to see a super talented guy like that. Mekhi Becton's a good football player, just get fucked by these random injuries.
Yeah, so I mean that take could age really poorly if guys like Zach Wilson go out and ball out. But I mean, there's a lot of guys that are question marks, and I feel like Gardner Minshew isn't really a question mark. Like you kind of know what you're getting with that guy. He's pretty stable. But
yeah,
that's a take I've been sitting on for a little bit, meaning to get off. Just came to me.
We'll tier make next quarterbacks next show. I'll build.
I love that actually. I love that.
There we go.
I love tiers.
Who doesn't love tiers? We need to start integrating more stuff like that into the show.
Yeah.
So we don't struggle to come up with a starting 5 idea every time.
Yeah.
We'll get some what the quizzes? What are those sporkles?
Yeah, dude. Oh, I'm such a Sporkle guy. And if you guys also, if people have ideas for starting 5 topics, we kind of struggle to come up with those. So we could use suggestions. If you guys ever have suggestions for a starting 5.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We got anything else?
No, I think that wraps it up. Just about an hour and a half. Holy shit.
Shortest episode in Rick and Fab No Ball history.
Actually, we did have an hour and 34. Oh, we had a 50-minute episode. Episode 4. What was that? I don't even know.
I can't remember any of our episodes, honestly. I can't remember any of them. I remember some of the starting 5s.
No, we're gonna have to cut that.
All right, we're coming out of the cut right now. You guys have no idea what was just said. We're sorry. That had to be cut. Just look at Rick's face.
Oh my goodness.
The first cut, the actual cut in show history.
My bad.
What do you guys think? What do you think we just had to cut? Let us know in the comments below. I'm gonna timestamp this. We're gonna clip the cut.
Oh, that was brutal.
All right. Well, we still gotta close out the show though, right?
Yeah, Rick, you gotta close us out.
Okay. Well, we love you guys. Thank you for tuning in as always. It was great to get back in the stew. How do you guys feel?
It was incredible.
Unbelievable.
I mean, I feel like shit, but I was so ready for this because I was just last week being out, it sucked.
I'm excited to see what happens.
Better than ever, baby.
With all the new reviews coming in, we get the little bumpski here. I'm excited. Yep. I'm excited for this episode to drop. I'm excited to hear what you guys think. I'm excited to keep recording. Maybe get another episode this week. Who knows? We'll see. Don't look now.
Don't look now.
To the moon. All right, we love you guys. That was Rick and Fab No Ball, episode 11.
Love you guys.
Hey, it's Rick and Fab. Huh? It's Rick and Fab. What? It's Rick and Fab. It's Rick and Fab breaking balls. Takes me up the walls. Talking all that shit that make you wanna get involved. They no ball. Rick and Fab no ball. Look, when you wanna talk ball, tell me who you call. I know it's Rick and Fab got it all, they no ball. Look, Rick and Fab no ball. Yeah.